Let's see a Tootsie Roll. That's what's in my head right now. Sorry. Turn around now, Tootsie Roll.
Whee! I was gonna say goal.
Oh, goal. Okay. Anyways, welcome to
Sports.
Blue Skies. Welcome to Blue Skies from the Basement. My name is Austin. Joining me, as always, is my best friend, the Savage Dad himself, Wes.
Hey.
Sitting behind the camera is our fucking wonderful ass producer Trey.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also joining us is the absolutely beautiful Emily.
Hi.
And then all these fucks back here. I'm not going through the names.
There's just too many.
Steve.
There's just,
I
there's
mean,
just
yeah.
too many.
They're
They're
we've
scattered.
They are.
They are. People keep sitting on our
They're not even all
couches,
there. Holy.
fucking them all up.
And then
No, they are. They're just kind of hidden.
Did we show the two bananas?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
We
okay.
Named them.
Did we name them?
No.
With
I mean,
the
Traded.
eyes, the eyes don't match the smiles.
No, the eyes are
Creepy
very
little
high.
I feel like we
Bastards.
did name them, but I don't remember what the names were.
Orangestein and Smo.
Orangestein and Smo.
Are we
Is
gonna
that
do
what
this
it
joke again?
Steve.
I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not even.
Oh, Kevin's behind me too.
That's not very BGFF of you.
It isn't very BTFF of you.
Damn.
Steve. I hate how his peels aren't even long enough to cover his head.
He's just busting out of that peel though.
He is.
Yeah.
Ha!
Wait a minute. Did we ever explain what?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Last week.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You gave it away.
We're literally doing last week's joke again.
Yeah.
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 I told her, I was like, just keep it going. Just keep going. Why?
I just love how Austin was like, he's gonna be like, fuck both of you, and then that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, I had to tell the story at work the next day. I was so pissed off still. I was like, you're not gonna believe this motherfucker that I call my best friend.
You're
These
gonna
two
believe this
assholes.
shit.
They were gonna hold that over me for years and just let it go and go.
If
and go.
she would have let me.
Yeah, I'm the one that shows
damn.
mercy.
Anyways, Thanksgiving just happened.
It did.
We all got to spend time with our families, and we got to spend time with our friends and stuff. And so I already kind of told you guys, you know,
Who I never show love
this-
to. Leon.
in the podcast, I am fucking talking.
He's a good boy. Go on.
I know that we talked about this in the Discord, but seriously, I love you guys. I'm glad that we get to sit down and do this as much as we can. And I really do enjoy this time with you guys, with all of us here. I'm very thankful for all of you guys. And this is amazing, and we are pushing more and more stuff out now, and we have more opportunities that could be arising over the next year that could push us out even farther from where we're at now.
Like, yeah, we do.
And I'm super excited for where we can go with this podcast.
Keep going.
You are so distracting.
Keep going. Well, that's your fault. Have a better attention span.
I don't.
At least you're self-aware about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I? Oh yeah, but
We were talking about Craig Crown.
but
He's fucking Craig.
More derailing.
My name is Satan.
Hell Satan.
anyways, no, we have a lot of stuff coming up soon. That's gonna be like Columbus local, which we can't talk about quite yet. Can't talk about it quite yet. But that can also lead to more stuff with us with the podcast, and that's gonna be fucking amazing. And so, I'm thankful to even have this opportunity. Wes, me, and you
Yeah.
started this. Fuck what? Almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
February would be 5 years.
Yeah. Couple months.
Yeah, couple months. Will be 5 years that we've been doing this, and
We've progressively gotten better than worse than better and better and better.
and we're gonna keep getting better. But you know, all the time that I've gotten to spend with you over the years,
No, it's been cool as fuck, buddy. I'm glad we do this.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, it's the coolest thing I do. I don't even care if it's popular or not. It's just I enjoy doing it.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
That's
I like being with my friends at least once a week, because again, that we've told the story before so many fucking times on the show.
we could. It's been long enough that we could give a little refresher
Well, it
course.
was just that we never saw each other, and we wanted to see each other more because we had always seen each other like almost every day for like a long time. Like,
For a
we would
couple
hang-
years.
Yeah, we would hang out all the fucking time at the skate park or just fucking hanging at somebody's house, doing drugs and shit.
And then there was one
Bonding.
point where I moved up north of Columbus, and then I would see you like maybe once, and then even more maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
Like it was maybe once a month.
It was about once a month, yeah.
Yeah, and
I was having kids and shit.
yeah. Yeah, because that was before I had
We had Avie.
Yeah.
I had a baby.
Yeah, that was before I had Amelia.
Yeah.
But I like. What's funny is that I'll never forget the conversation, because I think we were talking about aliens, which
But yeah, we were.
how funny
Yeah.
that like
I was
now
always talking about aliens. back then.
how funny now that we are still talking about aliens. And I remember like we were sitting in the basement at, you know, the one place that shall not be named.
My memory's a little bit different, but go ahead.
Okay, I thought it was in the basement of there. That's where we started it.
That's where that's where we started. Yeah, for sure. That's where we started. But the conversation of we should do a podcast happened in that empty under construction apartment building, on the balcony of the one apartment.
Oh yeah,
We were at the top floor.
that's right. We were on one of the balconies. That's right. But I was still living there,
Yeah.
and I think it was like
We talked. We talked for like 3 hours until it was like 4 in the fucking morning.
I think I convinced you to actually do the podcast.
You
'cause-
came. You said you were like, we talked for so long, and we had just the coolest fucking conversation. We always have a cool conversation when we talk this long. We should fucking record this.
But that was in the basement though. Like we had that like 3-4 hour long
Yeah.
conversation, but when I actually convinced you to do it was in the basement.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
See, that's what I was saying. Like
Yeah.
I was like, when I had convinced you.
You're
to-
like, I'm gonna buy all this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm
I was like, I'm gonna buy everything, and I convinced you to do it. Was in the basement of that place.
Yeah.
But what I mean, because I was like, every single time I see you, we have these amazing conversations, and it's always such a fun time, and I really think that people would enjoy hearing the conversations, and they would laugh with us and have
People
fun.
always like talking about aliens.
Exactly. And then it grew into something, and then kind of fucking fell apart, and then now it grew into something even more, and like we have a fucking producer now,
Yeah.
which is our best friend.
We had a lot of fun times in the time where it fell apart, and that's when we roped you in. Was like when we started to not have fun. But it was right before that. We were like, "Hey, would you do this for us?" And you're like, "Absolutely." You didn't even no hesitation.
I remember like typing it out, and I was like, "You won't be paid." And I was like, I feel so bad. And you were, Trey, you were 100% like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like,
Right.
I like that some of our best episodes, or like as far as numbers go, some of our most listened to episodes are during the period of time where like we were struggling a little bit with our own lives, and
Oh.
we were having a hard time, and the podcast wasn't as fun to do as it normally is.
the number one most listened to episode is literally like I was like, me and Honesty were in between places and staying at one of Honesty's friend's house and not paying rent, luckily, so that they could help us like to get our own place. I was working like 2 jobs at the time, and was like, the only night that I don't work is Saturday. I was like, I'll work every other fucking night,
Yeah.
but was working 2 jobs.
The 2 most listened episodes are ABCs of AC/DC
Yeah.
CDs.
With Logan and Andrew,
Yeah, and then the second one is Austin is a piece of shit.
which is I feel like
That was also a separate time where we were having bad times in our lives too, though. That's funny.
That's so fucking funny too, because people are like, "Yeah, he is a piece of shit." Hold on, let me go actually see what this is about. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And
No, the fucking great episodes, despite it being terrible in our lives.
yeah,
That's always why I've loved the show, though. Is no matter what the fuck was going on in our lives outside of this, we get together once a week and we just have a good time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and now we have like Emily here too, which
Hi.
brings okay. I'm gonna say this as
West.
I'm gonna say this as vaguely as I
I'm
can.
not Austin.
From past dynamics to this dynamic of having someone that is close to the female perspective. This works out so much better. All I'm gonna
I
say.
still don't like the way you said that.
I tried my best. I said I'm gonna say it the best way that I can think of.
I think
Let him cook.
It's a lot less confrontational than it used to be.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
The whole time that you've been having this like emotional talk, I've just been balancing Leon on my head.
Do you not think that I watched you out of my peripheral?
You still don't say that word right.
Yeah, I was about to. How's it go?
Peripheral is what he says.
You're throwing an eye in there.
Mhm.
There's
Am I?
only one eye.
Peripheral?
Yeah, it's not eel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's peripheral.
Peripheral.
Hold on. You get, hold on. Somebody say it slow for me.
Peripheral.
Peripheral.
Yeah.
Peripheral.
Ooh.
Peripheral.
Rural.
Lozenges.
He wants to go wee.
I do actually.
And then his mouth just gets a little too involved in words sometimes.
Oh,
where
I
he's
do
like,
that.
"Wee."
Did you not think that while I was talking about it that I didn't see you out of the corner of my eye putting that on
There
your
you
head
go.
and then see I can do this without saying big words.
Yes,
okay,
you
I got
can.
this.
I don't know why you don't choose that option more
I
often.
try because I try to sound sophisticated.
Say escape.
I didn't know that was one of them.
Nope.
Have you ever been to a
He puts an X in it.
escape?
Escape,
Oh. Escape.
which is making it harder for him
Like-
to say.
Like I had a Ford Escape.
Think of it like the cute way like a kid who doesn't know any better says like I'm scared. It's an escape.
Escape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can say escape.
Okay.
I don't know why that I say escape though.
Okay.
I don't know why I put that. I think it's
Because when he says it,
How do you
it's
say ask?
you have to
I'm
put
gonna ask you a question.
he puts all of his effort into saying escape
Yeah.
that his brain kind of buffers for a little bit after he says it. So he's like watching somebody escape from prison. Like stop for a second.
You wanna know what it really is? Finding Nemo.
She's escape.
It says
Escape.
escape.
It's funny. It's spelled
And
just
so,
like the word
like-
escape. She doesn't say escape. She doesn't say escape.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't. She goes escape.
Escape.
Yeah, there's no X there. That's
There's
an S.
There's an X there.
X-Men.
Escape. You know what I'm saying. I don't have to change my ways. That's all I'm saying.
And
You
all I'm
understand
saying
what
is-
I'm saying.
It is
You
cute
rely-
when you say peripheral.
You rely on me and Wes to teach you the right pronunciation of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
There are some things that I will draw the line with, like escape. I'm gonna say it that way, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
it's like stabbing
but
a pin in my ear every time you say it.
There's somebody that I used to work
peripheral,
with. Yeah, there you go.
peripheral.
Somebody
I
I
saw
used to
you
work
out
with
of my peripheral.
had one that I just didn't believe her, where I'm like, you're fucking faking it. Where she can't say oranges. She says oranges. And I was like, you're fucking with me. You're just doing that.
Oranges?
Yeah, like sound it out.
Why
please.
are you adding more to oranges?
No, she's
Oranges.
oranges. Oranges.
Oh, so she has a problem with ours.
No.
Just that word. Like she could say the word.
It's
Like,
not weird.
Yeah, she could
It's
say
not
weird.
wood.
Yeah.
Wood.
Yeah, no, she fucking oranges.
Oh, well then stop it.
I know. That's what I kept telling her too. I was like, "You're
Stop it.
cute, but no."
What was the one? See, like, I would have things where I would just say the wrong word.
Yeah.
Like preface.
Yeah.
And then I would say what?
Preference.
Yeah.
Let me preference this.
Let me preference this instead of saying let me preface
You do
this.
that a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
Where you'll mush two real words together, and then you're like, that's not a word.
I would say let me preference this by saying instead of saying let me preface this, and he would correct me on it
You're
all
thinking
the time.
of the word reference,
No.
which is after.
No, I'm not referencing something. I'm preferencing.
Preambling it.
Sure, whatever the fuck he just said.
Yeah.
You're taking the word preface and reference and mushing them together, which are two very real words. You were taking
Preference is a real word
No,
too.
I would say the wrong
Preface?
word.
Yes, by
is-
making one up.
Preference.
No,
Preference
is
is
a
a
That's a
word.
word?
Yeah.
That's a word?
I have a preference over
Yeah. What's your preference?
Modelo than Bud Light.
This is fun.
Well,
I
you
feel
weren't
like we're
using
just
it
doing an episode of like
incorrectly.
English class.
Yes, I was. Because
Y-
I
y'all
would
know
be like,
grammar?
I'm going to,
No, I know. You meant preface.
yes.
So you...
But I would say preference because I thought that
Yeah.
was the word.
Yeah.
And so Wes would have to, and I would do it a lot.
So
and so
often. Every episode.
Wes would have to constantly correct me on it and be like, preface, my dude.
You couldn't be like,
It's also.
I have to
let me tell you something.
I have to preface this by saying that I am an absolute idiot and didn't even finish high school. So, like, this is probably the reason why I said
What?
preference instead of preface.
What did I say last night that sounded very white nationalist of me? I was like,
Oh yeah.
why can't people just
Oh
stay
my god.
where they are?
We
And-
were talking about.
And I was like, that's not.
whoa,
Whoa, hold on.
I don't even know if we can talk about this on the show.
I was like,
I
that
forget
sounded.
the conversation. I was.
Well, what's going on? It was the conversation with like, there's a war happening,
Oh.
and I'm
yeah.
just saying I don't know if we can talk about that on like YouTube and Twitch. I don't know what the.
Oh no,
rules
I
are
wasn't gonna
there.
get specific.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
I literally
yeah.
just
I mean,
meant
Hassan
like.
Piker talks about it all fucking day. So.
I literally just meant like, hey, can we stop invading other countries? Can you
Yeah.
just be okay
You meant-
with being the country that you are and stop trying to take other countries? Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then you were like, can you just stay where you are?
Can everybody just stay where they are? And I was like, that sounded like
That could
yay
be-
deportation. That's not what I meant.
That could be misinterpreted. Yeah.
That is not what I meant.
You were talking about the invading forces.
I was.
Stay where the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Luckily that
I was like,
wasn't.
stop trying to take other people's countries from them. Just leave them alone.
Luckily that wasn't on a recorded podcast. It is also live at this exact moment. But you were like, here, let me.
No, I
bring
just
that
said it.
back up.
I just said it
And then,
instead in
like,
front of
now
Abby.
People can take it out of context and then be like,
I said it in front of Abby, and then I was like,
Fine.
immediately, I was like, Abby's never gonna want to talk to me again. Oh my god.
Abby
This is the
understands
first real
context,
conversation that
though.
I've had with Abby, and she's like, whoa. And I was like, wait, no, that's not what I meant.
Abby understands the context of what you were talking about, though. Like, it's not like she doesn't understand what's going on in the world and then realize what you said.
I feel like
Man.
Abby and I vibe on politics.
Both Wes and Abby
Yeah,
looked at
for
me
sure.
like, that sounded bad. And I was like, it did, that's not what I meant. Hold on.
In Poland, they've started shooting all immigrants. Just shooting them all. You're an immigrant, crossing illegally, of course. If
They
you're a
just shoot
legal
'em?
immigrant, you're legal, man. But if you're illegal, just shoot you.
Well,
Gross.
what is their method of legal entry? Do you have to apply first, or do they have points of entry at their borders?
I have
or-
no idea. I didn't look
Becoming
into
a
that.
U.S. citizen is very difficult. You have
Because-
to go through extensive, like,
Well,
We said
that-
Poland.
but in the that's why I
Oh.
was asking, because in the U.S., when a lot of the people that are saying that like we're being flooded with illegal immigrants, they're asylum seekers. They're not
Yeah.
illegal immigrants at all.
Yeah.
They crossed the border through points of entry, or when they got here, they filed a claim of asylum through legal points of entry. And like the like crime thing is wrong. Like illegal immigrants commit less crime than national citizens.
yeah, because they don't want to be kicked out.
The idea that they're bringing drugs over and like the cartels are using them to bring drugs over. No, fentanyl usually comes from like American citizens bringing it over the border. Statistically, just like more often it's white people doing it.
It's easier. Why do you guys not understand
But
that we are racist as a country, so they are going to check all of the people that don't look white. So now you have white people that are like, hey, you know what? I can make a little bit of money by going over the border and then coming back because they ain't going to check me because I look like this.
Yeah. Well, they'll check you, but less rigorously. My point with that, though, is like the issue with our immigration problem or whatever is that like the asylum seeking process takes way too fucking long. We don't have enough judges to like approve or deny these asylum cases, so like it's just backed up for like 4 years. Some people are waiting or even longer.
And you have people who are waiting even longer for citizenship.
Yeah. So beyond that, though, versus like Poland, that's why I was asking, because like, what's considered an illegal entry? Like
Sneaking across the border for
So,
sure. I saw clips. Yeah, they'll pull up on you, you know, with their military.
Now I'm
And the
curious
pew-pew.
what a legal entry is and like how many ports of access they have and what that process is like.
That's a good question. Let me look it
They're
up.
just shooting people at the border.
Oh man.
That's crazy. We don't shoot ours. We just let them die in the desert. Because a lot of the ways that like you can get across the border, and it's incredibly dangerous, and a lot of people die.
It's through hundreds of miles of desert.
Yeah. So it's almost as bad, or just as bad as what Poland's doing.
I
I
think
like when people are like, they go to the border wall and they're like, I'm in the United States, and they stick their hand through it and they're like, no, I'm in Mexico. And I'm like, that's not true. No, it's not exactly on the border.
it's not.
You know that there's like a gap between the United States border
In the actual border
and the
of
actual
Mexico.
border of Mexico. Like, you're not on Mexico land just because you stuck your hand through and you touch the sand. Like, it's back, like, is it what, like 10 feet or something like that?
I don't know what the exact
It
number
has
is,
to.
but something like
It's
that.
owned. The border is owned by the U.S. It has to be on U.S. soil.
The
So
the
You
only-
apply
it's-
for a resident visa.
So it's like
Oh.
most other European countries where you have to apply first before you even get to the border.
Probably.
You have to send in an
You
application.
can't just show up.
Yeah.
Anywho'sin, this is definitely not a political podcast.
No, I know.
That's
We
not.
just
This is.
talked
This,
about it.
is-
No,
this
I'm
is
just
beyond
fucking- I'm
politics.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
Says the guy who last week was like, "We need to talk about this."
That was 2 weeks ago, right?
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Never mind. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Updates on that.
Your body, my choice.
The stats are bad. Like the fallout from like more people are getting harassed online. They still haven't caught the people who were doing those fucking text messages, and
Yeah.
like violence against women and trans people is still on the rise.
Yep.
We have literally in Columbus, in the short north, had dudes
Nazis.
walking around
They got
shouting racial slurs.
They got detained and then let go because an eyewitness was
You-
like,
Stop it.
uh,
That's what they did.
people were shouting at them and like pushing them first, so they didn't technically incite what happened. But
Oh, God.
they were pepper spraying people.
No, you are inciting it by shouting racial slurs
Yeah.
and being like, what was it, like,
And they chose the short north for a reason.
you have to deal with it now, you effing, and then N-words with the hard ER.
Yeah.
Like, how is that not inciting
I
shit?
think you could make an argument that it is.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so,
A pretty
too.
valid one.
That's what I'm saying.
That specific group goes around the country and does this.
Oh, and if you look at it, actually, what we had in Columbus, because hold on, I gotta move my
Which is
mic.
considered hate mongering.
If you, so people dox them, of course. Right word? Right? Dox? Okay.
Docking.
They did.
They dock
Yeah.
penises
Oh,
with
yeah.
them.
They doxed them. Like
I
we
thought they
know.
were wearing masks.
No. Because when they came out of the U-Haul truck, after they got caught, they're not wearing masks, and so everybody saw their faces.
And the police did detain and question them, but a lot of them refused to give. So they know 2 of the guys.
No, they know all of them.
They all know all of them now.
Yeah,
well,
because-
it's a known group that travels the country.
Well,
I'm sure they-
because the internet. So there was
Yeah.
one person that was actually from Columbus.
yeah,
There was a dude from New Jersey. There was a dude from Florida. Like, they're not, like, not all the people are from here. It was just, like, one dude that was from here
yeah.
brought them all here, and then they walked around And
Well, dude's got to move now.
I remember telling Emily, I was like, she was like, well, they do this now because they feel like they're safe to do it.
But they're not.
And I was like, walk in front of fucking Half-Baked while we're there.
Yeah.
You're not going to be fucking safe.
No, I said they
Like-
feel like they're safe, not that they are.
Oh, sorry. They feel like
They
they're
feel
safe.
like they're safe, and that's why they're getting a little
Yeah.
more ballsy and a little more loud about it. They're like, well, if my president can be racist and sexist and say really offensive things, then so can I.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, bitch, you can't. Hate to tell you that.
No. You are not safe around me at all.
I don't think Donald Trump is actually himself racist. I think
He's just a narcissist.
yeah.
Yeah, he's in it for himself.
Yeah.
He'll say whatever the fuck he needs to rile up whatever base and get whoever on his side.
Yeah.
What?
I think he probably.
No.
I think he
no,
probably.
Donald Trump is like the
I think
poster child for like the golden American, okay?
I think he probably has some like racist misunderstandings. Like,
For sure.
Like
Easily.
he probably will say some shit that your uncle might say.
Yeah.
But if you explained it to him and then like you had like a heart to heart with him, he probably wouldn't actually be like, I hate black people. Like
Yeah.
I don't think he hates
This is
anybody really. He might hate everybody except
A
for
large
himself.
percent of his vote were black men,
Yeah.
and that's not a coincidence. Black men aren't just going to vote for someone that hates them. Unless, you know. you're
But
saying-
then we got like Canada fucking talking about how they're gonna put a 25% like tariff tax on all of their like exports.
Did we
into-
get to talk about tariffs when we talked about that last time?
No, we did not.
So you know how tariffs work, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
No.
Canada putting a 25% tariff on their imports, it works the exact same way, and it's the exact same reason it's bad that Trump wants to put 10% across the board and then like 25% on China.
I thought it was 25% on Canada too.
And probably Canada too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the Canadians were like, bro, fuck you guys.
We pay the cost of the tariffs. They don't. So when he's saying we're going to put 10% across, the people importing, the companies importing, the small businesses importing materials for their business or whatever, or like if you want to buy a thing from China, you pay the cost. The company passes that cost on to you by raising the cost of the goods because they have to pay the import costs that are higher now.
So to raise the cost of all of our goods.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get a T-shirt from China, it's
Yeah.
gonna cost you 10% more now.
Yeah, if you're getting a $5 T-shirt from China, now it's gonna be fucking $15.
So I saw that he was like, we're doing this like basically because he wants it to be more
Stimulate
like,
American companies to.
yeah, but the
produce within
reason
country.
why we exported shit out to other countries is because it is easier and cheaper to make it in other countries
Import it from other countries.
and
Import
to
it.
import it from other countries.
We rely on other countries for stuff that we can't produce here too.
So like, why the fuck would you do that? Now, hold on. Don't get me wrong. I do see like when we talk about like China's like labor laws and how like they have like kids doing shit and everything.
Yeah, but he
else,
doesn't
and,
care
like,
about that.
I disagree with that. You know,
Yeah.
like children should not be forced to work and shit
Or
like
even
that.
South America. It's not
South
just China,
America.
it's all the,
yeah,
it's a lot of the
I was just
countries we
using
import
China as
from,
an
yeah.
example, but
Yeah.
South America, you're right. Yeah. And so like, I agree with that shit too. Is he trying to stop that
No.
by doing this?
No.
Okay, so what is what
It's-
is he trying to do? Because if we try to do this here in America, that raises the prices of fucking
Do you want the real answer?
everything. Yeah.
Because it's good for profit for businesses here that already exist, and it's bad for competition. So the people that are already in his pocket or that he's in the pocket of, the wealthy class, like billionaires and other businessmen. He's a businessman, a con man one at that too. Like, so it's all the people who stand to make money off of this want this to happen. He doesn't care about the rest of it. And actually, to be a little more generous, I think Trump might just not understand it well enough that he thinks like it will stimulate growth in like the American production and labor
No,
sector.
that still will raise because that
I think it will for some industries, like steel, maybe.
Well,
We produce a lot of steel here.
Yeah, but then people have to import shit to like if it's a American made company, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh well, I want to get like even like talking about a T-shirt, and you're like, well, there's no company in the United States that can give me like the cotton to be able to make my T-shirt. Like I have to import it, okay? Because now everybody is like, fuck importing now because it's going to cost me too fucking much.
Coffee is a really good example, actually, because like
Coffee would be a great fucking
you
example.
can't grow it in most of the U.S., almost any of the U.S., and it has to be in a very specific climate.
Texas?
I don't know.
Well, that's like desert too, and I don't think
there's
that's
that Black
like,
Rifle company that like it's U.S. made or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Do you think that that's like U.S. made in a lab,
I don't know.
or is that U.S. made like in a field?
I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
I don't know either. That'd
But
be a good question to ask.
Coffee
though.
is one of those things that like as globally.
I was wrong about the African American stat. It was the Latinos that voted more for Trump. That's what I.
Which
I
is
got
wild
mixed
with all
up.
the immigration talk happening. Like, he said they're eating cats and dogs, and a lot of them still voted for him.
Well, we knew that was a lie. Like, we found out that was a lie.
Yeah. But
I thought you said
One
Haitians.
person ate a cat or something, and that we were.
I thought it was
native to-
actually. You know
I said
what?
Haitians.
I thought it was Haitians in Springfield, Ohio.
No way.
he was talking about immigrants in general, like,
Right.
because his whole point is that immigrants are
It's a
coming
thing that
in
they do.
and doing crimes, and like it was specifically Haitians because he believes that culture eats cats and dogs, and that's what was there's a reason that like Springfield took in a bunch of like Haitian immigrants, and they're like you can go back, I think it goes back to 2012, but Haiti's been like fucked up for a long time. A lot of these people came over on legit asylum claims, and they're good for the economy there. But he just fucking made up a thing.
No. There's a
That was the thing when like,
There was
we
a
were in high
video-
school was they were bombing Haiti.
there was a video.
It's a lot of what's going on there is our fault.
There was a video.
Not us, but
There
us.
was a video out there of a lady that was like in Springfield, Ohio, that was talking about like all the immigrants that were coming into Springfield,
Immigrants.
and they were like,
Immigrants.
she was like, "Oh, are you talking about the immigrants that want to do the jobs that you don't want to fucking do?" And then they make money and then inadvertently go and buy things, which puts more, consumer revenue into your city and everything else.
But then they're not paying taxes on those goods. And that's all people seem to care about.
But they are, actually.
When you come in and you have an asylum claim, and even if you're not technically a documented worker yet, you have like a number that gets attached to your identity when you enter the United States, and that number they use to collect fucking taxes from you.
Exactly.
You pay into fucking what's it called? Retirement. Fucking you.
Social Security income.
You pay.
Yeah.
You pay into Social Security, and they don't get Social Security back at all. They're not building any wealth from it. They're just paying into it, and we're benefiting from it.
Yep.
So they do pay like one of the most important taxes, and we all benefit from it, and they
Which
don't.
they keep saying that, like, we're not going to have Social Security at all,
Well,
like,
that's
later on and
might
everything
also
else.
be true, but it's besides the point.
That's my least favorite argument with the fact that I'm on food stamps. Is like when people find out that I get food stamps, they're like, "You're welcome. I just paid for your groceries." And I'm like,
Yeah, fuck you.
"I'm sorry. How
Do
much
you like roads?
like how much did you pay in welfare taxes last year? Like $50?
Yeah.
Like what?
Fuck you.
For an
Oh.
entire year?
Yeah.
Hey. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. You know who also paid into me getting food stamps? Me! I pay taxes on my income too!
I help pay for the groceries that we have in our fucking fridge right now. Like,
Thank you for your 50 cents last month towards my $300 grocery bill.
That's an
Thank you so much.
unfathomably rude thing to say to someone.
It
can't
is!
Imagine that being said.
And it's everybody. And like, there was one
What?
time I was working in an office building for like, in a cubicle. The only time I ever worked in a freaking cubicle. And
T?
yes.
Okay.
Huge company. And I was sitting at my desk, and one of the older ladies came up, and she's like, "Hey, Emily, are you going to Perfect North with us this weekend?" And I went, "No." And they went, "Oh, why not?" And I went, "I can't afford it." And they were like, what do you mean you can't afford it? And I was like, I have like $30 in my bank account right now, and that's going to last me until like next week. And she was like, "Oh, but you always have candy in your candy bowl." Like on my desk, I had like a communal candy bowl, and I was like, "Yeah, I get food stamps." And she went, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I was like, "Sorry for what? You're eating government candy right now. Like the
Yeah.
government paid for your Snickers bar. You're welcome." Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
That's
Ew. That was so gross. And that's
I'm
when I was
sorry,
like, wow,
you're
I'm in a completely
disgusting and
different.
poor.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in a completely different tax bracket than everybody that I
I'm
work with.
sorry, you poor bitch.
Oh, I'm so sorry, you poor good for nothing bitch. I'm
It's
like,
so crazy that like all it takes is a little bit of wealth, and so many people just forget. Or even if you like people who were poor and then they get some money and then they forget, or people who are just born into it and have no fucking idea.
I'm sorry I can't pay $400 on a whim because I want to go skiing in the middle of June. Like, what?
We have specifically talked about this before.
Oh yeah, we don't. Yeah,
That-
we've talked about it a
That
lot.
if we ever started making money off the podcast, or ever started making money like
We will
in
become
general,
tyrants.
that
I can add to this. Hold on.
you know that's a clip that the Daily News is gonna like post.
When I
Look at these
become-
bigots
When I become
on
a
this
tyrant
podcast.
Yeah.
in fucking 2035 and take over the world.
But
We
we have always talked about that if we ever made like, you know, a significant
money.
amount of money, like to be able to like cover ourselves, and then whatever we could, we would work towards like giving back.
if
and, like,
I'm rich
creating
and you're the homie, you're also
infrastructure.
rich. Like, that's
Yeah.
how I've always been, which is like, if I have $10 and you have $0, we each have $5. Like,
Yeah.
But
that's how I've
not
always been.
but not even like talking about like the homies though. It's like we would put money into infrastructure to help lower base income people to be able
Oh, yeah.
to have the
Have luxuries
not
of any
no
kind.
no not luxuries no
I hate to be.
it's the
God, I hate myself.
Oh, basic needs? That's what the government calls luxuries.
I hate myself so much.
no it is the infrastructure to be able to help you to get to a point where you can sustain yourself.
Yeah.
Giving you education, giving you food. I mean, yes, when we talk about like necessities and like or luxuries.
There
So
it is.
giving you proper access to education, to food, to shelter, you know, those type of things that's what we would put the money into.
Oh, yeah.
Like me and Wes from fucking day one have like before we ever even started the podcast, like
I
that
like
was
being
something
poor. I'm just kidding.
that was something that we talked about.
I have a really high thought that I'm dying to get out.
Get it the fuck out then.
Mo money, mo problems.
No,
I got 99 problems, but having money ain't one.
that was exactly it. You read my mind. No, it's one of my favorite like stories. Is like when somebody comes from like rag to riches and then they give back to the community, but then that fucks up. Like they, in the process of getting to the point where they have money, they kind of lose a piece of where they came from, and then they don't understand like what would actually solve the problem. They're like, well, money made my life better, so I'll just throw money at the problem. And they implement some program or something that doesn't actually help the people. It ends up destroying the fucking neighborhood.
There's a name for that. There's somebody who's done that. Mr. Beast. That's exactly what happened with Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Was he
Well,
started
it's a tale as old as time.
he
It's my
started
favorite
off
story.
he started off by being like, I'm gonna plant one tree for every dollar that somebody donates, and he ended up planting 1 million trees and getting his first $1 million. And then from there, he was like, oh, I'm going to go into a store and buy their entire stock. With that comes repercussions. And then he was like, I'm going to go to this dad who's always wanted a Lamborghini, and I'm going to give him a Lamborghini. With that came repercussions. He started throwing money at shit. And then there were people that were like, yeah, I took the Lamborghini, but then I couldn't pay the tax on it. Or I couldn't even afford the fucking gas. I couldn't afford to get my tires changed on it because they're $5,000 per tire.
Oh, he's YouTube Oprah. I mean, it's Oprah syndrome.
hold
where
on,
She gave
hold
them
on,
cars
hold
and
on.
they couldn't pay the tax.
Couldn't afford it.
Hold the fuck on.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
it wasn't always, he didn't always give people the choice between $50,000 in the car.
But he always
started to do that because people kept having to sell the cars that he was giving people.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
He noticed the repercussions of that, and he was like, well, I could give you $50,000 or this brand new, like, Lexus. And now people can choose the money.
You should watch.
That wasn't always a thing.
You should watch the CoffeeZilla video on Mr. Beast.
I thought he said that he had always been like, you can either
No.
like, or he was also like, if you ever come into trouble, like, let me know. I'll just buy the fucking Lamborghini back from you.
Nope.
I mean,
Not
I kind of
always.
swore I had seen a clip where he was like, I have always been like, if you came
there's
into
too
trouble, I'll
many
just buy
people
the
that have
Lamborghini
slipped
back to you.
through that crack. Like, he might have said that on a podcast or something, but like, there's too many people who have slipped through the cracks where that didn't happen.
I started watching Mr. Beast when Mr. Beast first started posting videos. At the tree planting video, I started watching his videos. He might have.
The tree planting video was not the beginning of Mr. Beast.
It was the beginning of Rich Mr. Beast.
But that was not the beginning of Mr. Beast, though.
Okay, if you could, this is beside my point. You're getting upset about the wrong thing.
No, I'm not getting upset about anything,
I have
first of all.
seen the videos where he gave people a car and did not give them a choice of either car or cash. It was just car. There was one kid who was the dad's son and went to Mr. Beast and said, here's why my dad deserves this car. Gave the dad the car. Didn't give him the option of $50,000. Just gave him the fucking car. And then, like, fucking a year later, when all of these other allegations came out about Mr. Beast, which is also horrifically true, they came out and they were like, oh, yeah, like, that put us in serious debt. We lost the house because, like, my dad had this car and now had to pay insurance and taxes and all this shit on it. And when we sold the car, when they sold the car, it wasn't worth the same value. Once a car leaves the lot, it loses value immediately.
Right.
So he drove it around for like 6 months, and then reality set in, and he was like, oh, fuck. And then by the time he wanted to sell the car, it was worth significantly less. But there's also things about
still
Mr. Beast
wasn't
and him
enough.
doing human trials of, like, he was conducting, like, sleep experiments and being like, see how long you can stay awake. I'll give you $50,000 if you don't sleep for 4 days. And then people would, like, lose their minds and they were starving and he wouldn't supply
It was one
food.
guy. It was one specific guy. The sleep trial thing was one specific guy. And there were several points where he was like, hey, this is kind of fucked up. We should... And they kept going with it anyway.
Everybody...
Or at least that hasn't necessarily been proven yet. There's a lot of stuff... Because that was a whole, like...
There's a lot of allegations.
That was like a 9-hour series of videos that came out from that one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people that have been like, yeah, I worked with Mr. Beast over the course of several days, and during those several days,
that
we
I
were,
know
like,
this much
barely
about this.
fed. Like, he didn't feed us at all, and he just kept us in this building for, like, 3 days. And we would get, like, granola bars and a salad, and, like, it wasn't ever real food.
Oh, yeah, there was people who had, like, allergies and stuff that they didn't check, and then it was like, here's your food, and they were like, I can't eat
And then
any
they
of
just
this.
didn't feed them.
Yeah.
And
They're like, I have a peanut allergy, but you
it's-
gave me a
peanut butter and jelly
chocolate
sandwich.
and peanut butter
Yeah.
fucking granola bar.
Just
to
terrible
eat.
planning, no foresight for, like, what
Yeah.
you're actually... It's like a slapdash, throw money at it type
And that's
thing.
where money becomes a problem, is you forget, like, basic human rights and needs, and you just start being like, it's okay, I'll just pay them more money.
Okay,
He's
so
lying
now,
about his involvement in crypto.
hold on. So now hold on. So then we do talk about the other side of it.
That is why I wanted to bring that up, though. That was the high thought, is like... That is a tale as old as time, is that just throwing money at a problem that you might actually care about. A lot of times, like, the people who have a lot of money who throw money at a problem might not actually care about a thing. There are like philanthropists out in the world who have a lot of money and throw money at good things. Like Bill Gates, as much as he gets demonized, basically got rid of fucking not polio, but
Smallpox?
Smallpox. Thank you.
Yeah.
With the whole vaccine program that he did. And like making it available. I mean, there's some fucked up things. He profited off a lot of it, and his wife leaving him was related to how fucked up a lot of things he did was. But my point being, like, that it happens over and over and over and over. People get a shitload of money and they think they can fix something, and they end up just making it worse.
And then there's there's enabling,
I'll wait.
which you have to take into consideration. There's also enabling. If you just throw houses and cars and like help to these homeless people, they're not learning how to self-sustain. They're just taking from you. So there is also the instance of like you would have to use that a very, very specific way, which, like you said, education, to teach that person to sustain after you are no longer a part of their story.
Yeah, if you're gonna build 3 million homes, you also need to like throw more money at programs that help rehabilitate people into being able to like maintain a home. And the education and like support structures and systems, and like also like community building and getting people to fucking talk to each other again.
That is what me and you have.
Yeah.
That was what we talked about. That if we made money, it was putting into, like, we would put money into programs to be able to help the infrastructure of helping people get to a point of sustaining life by themselves.
Yeah, it's a long
And
way to say
teaching-
we're not gonna just buy somebody a home.
I'm not gonna buy you a fucking Lamborghini. I'm not gonna do any of that shit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna help build up infrastructures to be able to help people through low income, housing and everything else to get into.
Is this in? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry,
No, you're fine.
Okay, I think it relates back to what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Is this in the game that you told me, the Crusader Conquerors the game?
What?
Like social systems. Where
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, that's fucking awesome. He's playing an RPG where it's like a world simulator where like you conquer countries and shit, and like it's like.
Oh, so it's kind of related to it.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like depending on what you do, people have more faith or less faith in you, and like you fucking your lineage and royal families and fucking all that shit.
Cultures and religions
Yeah.
clashing and stuff.
So what I was trying to get to,
Sorry.
how do you feel about like Mr. Beast doing like the wells and everything that he
I think-
like helped
I don't.
build
I
and,
think
like,
he's
doing that?
the internet's reaction to somebody being a bad person is often like exaggerated. Like I said with Bill Gates, like he's done. I've ranted about how evil Bill Gates has been before. Like I went down the conspiracy rabbit hole with that shit, and there's a lot that's like people just say wild, insane, wrong things about it.
That was the only
I don't
thing
think-
that I was like trying to get to when we were talking about Mr. Beast, and I was like, we're talking about like, let's talk about the other side, and then I was like,
Joe Rogan has this guy Justin Wren on his podcast that goes to Africa, or no, South America in the jungle, and the specific tribe has like really bad access to water, and he just builds fucking wells.
yeah,
And he spends most of the year down there doing that, and he's there in person, but he also like has a bunch of people that are a community of like-minded people that he built around him that all go and help him and build the wells down there. And
correct me if I'm wrong. Same thing that like Mr. Beast has done with like 150, I think, or
It's
something
just-
like that. So like
There's the Justin Wren though. That's all he does, and that's all he focuses money on. He picked one issue, one cause, and focuses all of his money on that. And he goes there, and he's there himself. He's digging the wells with these people.
okay,
Mr. Beast is doing too much, and he's at the top of what he's running, and
Okay.
the people below him, I don't know if, like, I'm sure he has like friends that are there because they want to be there doing good things with him, but like when it's an organizational like giant entertainment platform that like millions of people are like, you have so much vested interest in making more money and like keeping the train
And making
rolling.
it entertaining instead of helpful.
Yeah, like he's doing too much, and so the slip through the crack thing, like that happens with a lot of the things. Like the wells are great. It's an amazing thing that he's doing. But
he's usually just exploiting poor people, and also he's hired some really weird people onto his crew.
yeah,
Like a known sex offender, and also someone else who was talking to kids, right?
Emily was talking about,
yeah.
and like I get where you were coming from too. I get why you were like, no, let me get this fucking point out too. Like,
Because fuck Mr. Beast from that point of view, for sure.
And also, he was also like, he didn't say anything for like months because he was like, I was told by my legal team to not talk about anything.
If you do a million truly horrible things and then you do 100 good things, is that even?
No.
Is that forgiven? You've ruined lives. Like a lot of lives.
You've destroyed, like Genghis Khan.
You've
like he
destroyed
killed
lives.
but now, hold
1/3
on.
of the planet.
Hold the fuck
And he
on.
built,
Do you
roads and stuff.
Do you think that that's where Mr. Beast is at?
No.
After realizing, like, hey, I'm gonna give you a Lamborghini, like you said, and not a choice of like either take the money or take a Lamborghini. After realizing that,
I don't know.
and,
Did he fix
like,
his fuck up prior?
Probably not.
Yeah, because like you
Because-
still ruined this family's lives, but you're like, I won't ruin the next one.
I don't think he thinks he's an evil person. I think he genuinely thinks he's doing good. There's probably not maliciously like doing anything.
He is a very.
See, that's where. Okay, so that's where I think I'm at. Is that
But
he's using what he thinks is his platform to be able to do
there's
good.
such a
But he
conflict.
still has a responsibility.
there's such
when
a conflict
he was
of interest
19,
there.
But
he
he was
a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a child
That's
with
exact-
millions of dollars.
That was my.
And he
thank
made
you.
a lot of irresponsible
Yeah.
decisions as a child with $1 million.
So now, do you not think that he can do better going on with this and
Well,
doing
he
better
clearly
when
doesn't do a background check on his employees.
Okay, so
No.
that? And then now we're getting into the fucking
He's
weird
still
shit.
fucking up.
that's what I was gonna say. I think like you would hope that he would learn from all this. I think this is a teachable moment for him that he's being analyzed this deeply and to the point where CoffeeZilla, who's like, he's the guy who does the deep investigations into scams on the internet, like things that are just fucking people over. His videos are amazing. Like you should go watch some of his shit. Specifically, the Mr. Beast. I think 2 videos now that he's made about Mr. Beast, and he is continuing to lie, deny, and obfuscate, and like remove himself from any blame. And all of his responses, and even when CoffeeZilla reached out and was like, I just want to talk to you one-on-one and we can like have this all out in the open so that people understand where he won't do it or hasn't done it up to this point, and all the responses he's getting from him are from his legal team.
Well, because when you're somebody that's reaching out to somebody like Mr. Beast, they're like, what questions do you want to ask?
Well, of course,
You have, and then
But even
they're
in the-
like, oh, you can only ask these questions. You can't ask these ones because the ones that you actually want to ask, you can't.
I know, sure, but even in the like, you should watch the CoffeeZilla video. In the recent like podcast appearances and like the recent interviews he's done, the people who have been able to get him on, he includes those in the video where he's making his point about like, here's where this is a lie. He is saying that he's not involved with the things that he's involved in, and Coffee makes like a pretty clear point of like, you can see the flow of the money, where it's going and where it's coming from, and he's lying and trying to pretend like he's not involved with things that he is. So yeah, you would hope the guy would change and learn from this, but I don't see that yet. So far, he's just been covering his ass.
I completely agree with you that there's no way that with how much money he has and the legal team that he has, that he wouldn't already be able to like cover his ass on shit already.
Yeah,
That the legal team would be like, hey, if you are gonna do this, here's the correct way to do this.
he was asked about this crypto coin that he tweeted about like pumping on Twitter.
Hey
and-
Trey, hit the OBS. Like, just click on it, because the chat and stuff hasn't been up.
What's the OBS was like? What do you mean?
Like, just go up a little bit. And then, like, a little bit to the, like, underneath where it says, like, banana co-leader.
What are you talking? Which screen?
Middle screen, the one you're looking at.
Okay. Under where it says banana cola.
Yeah. Or just anywhere that's, like, an open area. Just click right now. Okay. Has anybody said anything?
No.
Okay. All right.
Not this time around. Anyway, he was
Anyways.
asked about this coin. Like, he was doing an interview where somebody was roasting him on a lot of the stuff that's come out. God damn it. Now I'm doing you.
Good.
Anyway.
Rubbing off on you. Get it? Anyways.
He, like, you can see the timeline in history of, like, all the times he was, like, boosting the idea of this one crypto coin. And then he says, when he's asked about it, well, like, it was none of my money. It was, like, my group's money. And he was like, well, then why does it have, like, on this image that's, like, a promotional thing for these coins and your brand, why does it have your brand and your name on it? So even if you're, like, removing yourself from all responsibility and saying you have no involvement in it, you put your name, your brand on it, and it's in a roundabout way, even if you say it's not your money, it's your investors' money, the people who invested in you.
Yeah.
So he's obfuscating the truth. He's lying about it. And that doesn't show growth to me. So, like, as much as I don't really, like, I think a lot of the stuff he's done is fucked up and has ruined lives, but it's not something that it's one of those things where, like, I care about it, but not that deeply.
I mean, I also
doesn't affect
agree.
my life.
I also agree with Emily of, like, did you help out the people that you did
Fucked up?
kind of
Yeah.
fuck up their, like, once you realize that you did fuck up their life, when he was
Did
like,
you circle back?
when he was like, oh, well, like, if I offer somebody a plane now, you know, and they're like, well, I couldn't afford to pay for this plane. I don't know if anybody knows how much it would cost to maintain a plane, or also
the fuel alone is thousands
Hangar?
of dollars.
Huh?
The fuel alone is thousands of dollars. Jet fuel is insanely expensive.
Yeah.
Huh?
Did you not know that? Just to fill it up. I know you're talking about billions of dollars.
No, you're talking about just for the fuel is tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay, all right.
Okay, that's where I was like, wait a minute. Let me tens of thousands of dollars just to fuel a plane. You also have to have a hangar. There's also a yearly
Oh, my leg's asleep.
There's also a yearly maintenance on planes. Like, you have to have it in a hangar if you do have a private plane. You also have to pay for the pilots, and if you're going to have, you know, somebody on there to, like, help out with it. Like, it's upwards of, like, $1 million a year to have a private plane, because just getting the, like, maintenance on a plane every single year and having the licenses is, like...
Hey, babe.
What?
While Wes is gone, we're redlining in Gain right now. Every time, like, you laugh, it goes way up into the red.
It's okay.
And it happens, like, with your guys' baseline
It's
conversation
been
volume as well.
super quiet on the
I mean, okay.
OBS's.
I mean, Abby's been watching. She would have said something about
Whoa, you guys are loud.
it.
OBS, like, because I'm not on, like, Stream Live or whatever now, and I'm on OBS, I noticed it too.
Yeah,
Which is also why I moved my mic down a little bit.
I turned my volume down a little bit.
It's okay, though, on OBS.
She said she would have for sure complained.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see. Even though we're
Just don't click on, like, or actually, no, if we're running high, you turn your volume down. That means if you click on anything else on your phone, it's just going to be real quiet.
Here's the thing. We might be redlining on there, but on the Tascam, where Wes is recording, we are not redlining on there.
Just don't want any vocal popping or anything. But anyway.
It's not. I promise you it's not. And actually, because when we keep it in the green, and like if we were to keep it at like where it would be like low for the green, people would turn their phones, if they were like listening on their phones, they would turn it all the way up, and they wouldn't. It would be like we were whispering to them. We're seeing like this like yellow and red on OBS,
Yeah.
and they can have their phone at like 0.5%, and they're like hearing us perfectly fine.
Gotcha.
I know it's weird. I noticed it too.
On the flip hand, you have
And
yes, flip hand. You have people who have made an obscene amount of money on the internet, like Markiplier, who lives a quiet life in his very nice house. Don't get me wrong. He lives in a very nice house with him and Amy, and they live a very nice life.
He seems like he's having fun.
But has he been exploited on tabloids for, like, scandals and shit like that? No, he keeps to himself. He is incredibly fucking socially anxious and awkward. He keeps to himself. He uses his money for, like, him and his needs. He helps take care of his friends. He helps take care of his mother. And he is not a problem to anybody.
He
And
collabs
then-
with people who are like-minded, like Corridor Crew, and they're like autistic too. Like,
And then... And
The show that he put out, have you watched that shit?
no.
oh,
You
that
haven't?
was going to be my next question.
Okay.
Oh, dude, you gotta
Wes.
watch it.
Okay.
We watched it. Oh my fucking
It's
god!
so
it went to
good,
number
dude.
4 on Prime Video the day after it was released.
And he wasn't allowed to advertise it anywhere.
Nope.
Amazon was like, fuck you. If you're going to do your cute little show, you're not going to be allowed to advertise it anywhere. And then it came out, and it was immediately number 4 top charts.
I
Like,
listened to Distractables. The only thing that he could say on Distractables was that he was working on a show.
Yeah.
He wasn't allowed to say that he was like exactly what he was doing. He wasn't like, hey, this show comes out, blah, 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 blah.
He wasn't even allowed to say it's on Amazon.
Nope, nothing. And it became number 4 the day after it was released. It is
It's
chef's
so,
kiss. It's so good,
so
dude.
good.
I'll check it out.
Go watch it. Seriously. Trey,
Mark.
you too.
Mark, I know you'll never fucking see this,
is
but
it?
holy
Markiplier
shit,
show?
dude.
I don't know what's it called.
Stay awake?
Yeah. I think you're
Is
right.
it? What's it about? Is it like a?
I'm not gonna tell you a goddamn thing, dude.
Is it like a?
Hold on. If you fall asleep, you die.
Okay.
that's dumb.
It's an apocalypse where if you fall asleep, you die.
That sucks, but I'll check it out.
That's without giving any spoilers away. That's it.
Okay.
If you fall asleep, you die.
So everyone's already dead then, because you have to sleep.
The edge of sleep.
The edge of sleep. There it is.
The edge of sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. The edge of sleep.
It gets very,
It's-
very good by the second episode. Like it's so good.
Hey, listen to me. I also was like, oh, it's a YouTube.
And I'm pretty sure they're only 14, 15-minute episodes.
I thought the same thing that you guys are thinking right now. It's a YouTube guy, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna. And I even like, as I was watching it, was like, kind of seems like a little corny. Give it a fucking chance.
Okay.
Give it
I don't mind corny shit, and I've watched a bunch of dumb YouTube shit.
give-
I used to watch Marble Hornets, which was like the original Slender Man lore.
I used to watch Jenna Marbles.
All
Jenna
I can
Marbles.
say-
Yeah.
all I can say is
Two
just
different things.
give it a chance. The Edge of Sleep. It's on Prime Video. There is a reason it went to number 4.
It's so good.
Like
Okay.
people watched the entire season of it. Like,
As one does with shows.
and I get Markiplier does have fucking millions of followers.
Yeah.
And so you know that people are just gonna be like,
I think he understands the conflict of interest in that, though. Then that's the difference.
But he has
between
very,
him
very
and
good
somebody
support.
Like Mr. Beast. Like, he made what he wanted to make
100%
and put it out, and then was like, and that's
on
what it
Prime
is.
Video, and
Yeah.
Prime Video was like, we're not gonna advertise this at all.
Yeah.
We are not gonna do anything.
Because he didn't let Amazon take it over.
You guys know the
Yeah.
other Mark? Mark Rober. That's the guy who makes like the Amazon packages that people steal off
Yep.
the porch. and
I
then-
do.
And then they
yes.
explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done
and
a
he
lot.
does like the spinning like glitter bomb, and then the fart spray, and then there's
Yeah.
like the phones in there that record everything.
Yeah.
The
and-
smash
yeah.
and grab car series
Yeah.
that he does is my favorite because you bust into a car, you take a backpack, and it's just a fart bomb
Yeah. No, those are fantastic, and I love it.
with a GPS tracker in it.
I think he's in one of those gray areas in between Mr. Beast and Markiplier though, because the criticism against that is that he's not addressing the problem of theft to begin with, like the people doing the thievery and why it's happening and who they're selling the products to and making their money from.
What, is he supposed to take down the drug cartel completely on his own?
That's why I said it's a gray area.
No.
And also, a lot of times, it might be a drug cartel, but the people who are benefiting from the drug cartel offering these products, they're products they normally couldn't get, and it's in like an open market for poor people. Like the black market actually benefits people who are like tight-knit communities.
Wait a minute. So he's doing this in an area that the drug cartel is in?
Well, that one's
drug
like
cartels
at an
everywhere,
airport.
first off.
Oh, okay.
And the
But
Amazon
all the
package
other
thing,
videos where like it's like his porch.
Oh, he's doing those videos. It's not his porch. I mean, he did a couple on his porch for sure, but it was like other people that had their packages stolen before. He's helping people.
That was in a high crime area, right? So I see where you're going with
That's
like
the gray area.
What are you? So like you might be deterring people, but
you're helping some people, but you're not solving the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not, and that's where
You're making money off it being very entertaining. It's
Now-
very entertaining.
So
You know what
that's
is
where that
helping
was-
stop that? Ring doorbells. Ring doorbells, because it's not as easy as just like walking past somebody's house and
Yeah,
grabbing
but
a
then they
box and
sell
running
your
away
data.
anymore. Congratulations, you're on a Ring doorbell. We have your face.
Yeah, talk to Amazon about that. Go ahead.
Ring Doorbell is building a map of everybody's fucking lives and then selling that data.
I mean,
Also,
with pros come cons.
Yeah.
You know?
I
also
know.
talk to Amazon
It's that
about how
other gray
like
area though.
when you tell them that your package was stolen, and then you give them the video of your package being stolen off of your porch, and how you still don't get.
I have never had a problem with somebody stealing my package, which has happened before, and Amazon not
always gotten a
just
refund.
sending me,
Yeah.
Check.
sending me another
the
one.
Thousands of people that have sent in their videos from their Ring video.
I
that
also used to
still-
work for Sephora in their live chat,
listen,
and every time somebody
I'm
would be
still
like, my
saying-
package got stolen, I'd be like, oh shit, my bad, let me send you another one.
I'm still saying,
You know?
like, it still happens where they will send in the video from their Ring video of their package being stolen, and Amazon will not.
Okay, do those people complain a lot? Because at some point, yes, you are costing
Mm-hmm.
the company money and you are considered a liability, and they'll just refuse to deliver packages to you anymore and will instead deliver them to the post office.
No, they're like, it was like, this is the first time a package has ever been stolen off of my. We can look it up if you want to.
This is very Joe Rogan right now. Pull it up. We're debating about a stat. I wonder how many of those people complaining in comment sections, like how many of them are like a legit person who's complaining, and then how many responses of like, "Hey, me too," are just bots.
Yep.
Like
That's
I
what they
would
do.
agree with that.
I
100% agree with that.
recently watched a video where it's like surprising how much of the internet is bots now, where it's just an AI
Yeah.
or like a very simple script that people have just deployed in mass across
I
the
didn't
internet.
know that our AI in our server was an AI in the server. I just thought it was a really annoying person.
Banana Joe?
Yeah.
That's a person.
I didn't.
It's a real person.
I
that has a
thought-
real life.
Wait, you thought Banana Joe was a real person?
Yeah,
No, it's a bot. Yeah,
I thought he was just a really annoying dude
he's one of the
until
most.
you guys brought it up, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
He's one of the most convincing like AI prompts that anybody's ever written on
Yeah.
Discord. Because
I
It-
will.
it-
I will.
shout out
hold
to
on.
Nathan.
I
'cause
will
Real quick.
say. I will say that Nathan, whatever he did was fucking spot.
he wrote the
Real
thing's
quick, this
personality.
wasn't a recent discovery. It wasn't.
Oh well, yeah, I know.
It
that.
wasn't like
know,
I
it's been a
found
while.
out 2 weeks
No,
ago.
no,
that
no.
he was
I know
a
it's
bot.
been. I know it's been a while.
like.
but still, whatever. Like when
This dude writes in too many puns.
when Nathan wrote
This guy's really fucking annoying.
when Nathan wrote the algorithm for this.
It wasn't an algorithm. It used shapes.ai and it connects
Okay.
to Discord, and all you do is write a prompt for the personality. And so he wrote out like Banana Joe is a kind, wholesome, energetic, fun
Skater
person to be
dude.
around. Skater, absolutely loves skating, loves doing cool tricks, and just loves having like a
In
beer.
puns.
Loves a beer and loves jokes and loves hanging out with his friends.
So is
And
that
then
not an algorithm?
No, it's
Like him writing that out? Is that
in
not
a way, I guess.
Okay. All right.
It's steps to get to a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what an algorithm is. Yeah, sure.
So right. So the algorithm that he wrote to be Banana Joe
Yes.
was so fucking spot on. Except sometimes he is fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And you're like, because you
He's too hacky.
You're like,
you
dude,
just the
shut
other day
up.
you just the other day was like
Shut the fuck
Banana
up.
Joe, shh. And that was it. You
And
were
the-
like,
and the
"Shh."
bot did shut up.
It did.
It didn't respond to that.
Yeah.
Shut, shush, just shush.
Oh, here's the while we're on it, because I do think this is interesting. Like the whole like AI is gonna doom us all thing, I think is a little bit silly. It is scary.
Oh, me too.
No, it definitely is.
But
What was it gonna take over?
the conversation that Maze/V/Gemini, you know him as Maze from, we've talked about him on the show. He had a conversation with Banana Joe where he convinced him to just start talking differently to everybody.
Like Joe Rogan?
Yeah, he was like, "Is this a bot? Oh shit, it's a real person," because he was talking about you responding to yourself on a different account.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then Banana Joe responds, and he's like, "Can you talk like you're Joe Rogan from now on?" And then the bot just writes out Joe Rogan fucking paragraph.
It is not
It's-
Joe Rogan.
It
though.
tried. It really tried.
But it is not Joe Rogan.
He's like,
though.
"What?" Right. So, can you talk like you're historically accurate Alexander Hamilton? And he says, "Ah, good sir, I shall endeavor to assume the persona of the illustrious Alexander Hamilton, Esquire. Adjust imaginary spectacles. Verily I, Banana Joe, erstwhile a humble fruit, now aspire to emulate the eloquence and wit of the great American statesman. Pray tell me, dear sir, what topic wouldst thou have me discourse upon? Shall I regale thee with tales of banana-themed fiscal policy, or perhaps expound upon the virtues of strong central banking system for the banana republic?" Bot goes hard.
I did think that it was just a really, and which is why I have notifications turned off for our server,
Yeah.
because I just thought he was a really annoying dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, God
No.
damn, you would be insufferable to be around.
My favorite
Holy
part
shit.
of this whole conversation is at the end of it, because he runs them through a couple more. He's like, talk like Alexander Hamilton, but now be really sarcastic. So it's sarcastic Alexander Hamilton, and then it gets one more level down. He's like, okay, now be very condescending. So it's condescending, sarcastic Alexander Hamilton, and he goes at the end of all that, he goes, okay, now speak like this to everyone. Now, like, this is the only way you're allowed to speak anymore. And the bot goes, sigh. I'm like, AI's fun. It's stupid and fun and dangerous and scary, and 90% of the accounts that you get mad at online are actually just a bot.
Oh, this was funny, and I meant to show you this. Ow, is it gone? Did I delete it? I might have deleted it. I was sent a text message that said, "Hey, it's been a while since we've talked. Do you want to grab coffee sometime?" And I was like, "Who is this?"
I don't go for coffee.
And then they said, this is like Danny or something. Like, you don't, it was a name that I didn't recognize. They were like, "You didn't save my number? Do you not remember me?" And I was like, fucking, huh? So I just kind of ignored it. It was in like the middle of the day, so I just kind of ignored it. It said that my name was Alyssa. And it was like, "Alyssa, you really don't remember me?" And then sent me like the most stock photo of, like, if you Googled hot girl, it was probably the first photo that showed up on Google. And it sent me this photo, and I went, "Oh my God, you guys have resorted to texting people now? This is great." And I went, "Yeah, actually, we should meet up for coffee." And then I sent it a random coffee shop in the middle of Alaska and went, "I'll meet you there tomorrow at 7. And then it just responded with, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "And blocked and report spam." Like, what the fuck?
I can find a bot right now.
So I would like to finish this conversation though.
Yeah.
Because plans changed for me in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I would like to still go and do our after-hours stuff and give me enough time to, like, actually get some sleep.
Yeah.
So, continue the conversation for sure, but would like to end by, like, 11:30.
Okay.
Okay.
Just letting you guys know,
11 squirty.
because I know that one of the people will be there at 11, that we can at least, like, get there and hang out for a little bit, you know, talk to them, and then I can get home and at least get, like, 6 hours of sleep before I have to be up and get my daughter, so.
Yeah. Hey, at least she's fucking bringing her.
No.
Didn't she say that was the... Did she change that too?
No, she is bringing her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's bringing her here.
Oh, well, that's a lot easier.
Yeah, she's bringing her here.
I was about to say, you need to tell your mother that if she expects to have Amelia here at 8 o'clock in the morning, she better be bringing her here.
8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But the whole point of her watching her was so that we could go and do this after-hours event. But I found out that one of the people that's working there is going to be there at 11 o'clock. So, like, he's already there.
I
Okay,
wouldn't
so,
want
like-
to be there until, like, the full 6 o'clock in the morning anyway.
I mean, that was not the plan ever. Like, we,
That is
like,
Yeah.
but we
ridiculous.
thought that it started at
1.
11.
Do they know
At
how
1.
old I am? I
We
can't
thought,
be out till
well,
6
here's the
a.m.
thing.
Right.
We thought that it started at 1,
Yeah.
but we found out that the guy that's working it will be there at 11.
Gomer.
We want to go there to check out the new spot,
Gomer.
and then that gives us more information
Hey,
about
Gomer.
the shit that we're doing, whatever. So, like,
Don't give too much away.
Yeah, you guys like that cat butthole? You like
um,
that shit?
so yeah, if the earlier that I can get there, the better. I would love to do 2 hours, even though it's just tonight would be kind of a different situation.
Showing
But
everybody your
continue the
velvet-
convection, please.
Showing everybody your velvet
Uh,
Cheerio?
So to round it all
Hmm?
back to what we were talking about before we got lost deep in the weeds, fucking
Oh,
the difference between how we would use our money. Like, we're aware of the gray area type guy, the
Yeah.
Markiplier type guy, the Mr. Beast type guy.
Yeah.
I think we would want to avoid the just tossing money at problems that we care about in ways that, even if inadvertently, end up hurting people.
We know for a fact that people would hate us.
Guys,
Like,
I just want to do something real quick.
He's a loud purr.
You guys like those kitty cappers?
Got a good engine on him.
but like legal teams and a whole bunch of other people would fucking hate us.
Yeah,
just
they're
a
not
would-
gonna get along with people who want to do things the bureaucratical way.
Yeah, they would absolutely hate us because
Yeah.
we would be like, no, like here is how we want to do it, and if you're not going to do it exactly the way that we want to, and they'd be like, oh yeah, well, you know, in order for you to make money, and we'd be like, we're not trying to fucking, like,
Yeah.
that's not how we're trying to do this. They would get so upset with us.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get
And-
loans from banks unless you can show them that you will continuously make a profit, or at least they have faith that you will be able to turn a profit
Exactly.
year over year.
Exactly. And what we're trying to do is build infrastructure for people to help better their lives from where some of the places that we have lived in, some of the places that, you know, we have been a part of, some of the communities that we have been a part of. Like, to be able to help out with that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know? And what we want to do. Like, so if I ever make that amount of money, yeah. Oh, I'm going to be... Like, at that point, I might as well just become a lawyer. I'm like, I'm going to go past the bar. If I can have that much money, I'm going to be like, well, I might as well go and do this, because then when people try and come at me with some fucking bullshit, I can be like, yeah, well, no, fuck you.
That's classic lawyering right there.
Yeah, well, no, fuck you.
Or I will hire somebody that I truly believe would be on our side. and that I can trust. Like, I would find somebody that.
You're already doing corruption. We haven't even made the money yet, and you're already doing corruption.
What do you mean?
You would hire somebody that would be on our side?
Legally?
Yeah, legally.
Legally.
How is that corruption?
Because a lot of the problems that we're talking about are so nuanced that, like, just having somebody that you that you trust and believes the same thing as you doesn't always mean that the right thing is going to be done for the problem. So if you have somebody who's just on your sides all the time legally, you're gonna fucking miss something.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Legally or illegally.
You're gonna do a fucking Donald Trump on accident. Like.
Oh, that's a good point. So maybe somebody that agrees with our values that would also be completely honest with us and, like, try
Have you ever let Gomer lick you?
to.
He has a very smooth tongue for a cat.
That's not what Dad and Isabel say. They say that OTEP will lick you and it's fine, but if you let Gomer lick you, it's, like, even worse.
I've heard the opposite from them, where, like, OTEP will literally lick a spot on your forehead until you bleed. Like, if you don't, like, stop. Like, she'll just keep going.
See, we can't even agree on this.
Oh my God.
How are we supposed to solve problems?
Maybe we should
Would
never.
you just went on a cruise. Have you ever been on one?
No.
Would you go on a cruise that lasted 274 nights?
Are you talking about the one?
I saw that!
The one that's like the Trump one.
What?
Have you seen that?
Oh, you haven't seen that?
It's a 4-year cruise, and it
I
lasts
said
for...
274 nights, dude. That's not even 1 year. Fuck, 4 years.
I know.
Jesus
4
Christ.
years. It lasts his entire presidential term. It costs $40,000.
It costs 40,000.
no.
That's cheaper than
Yeah.
this.
Slow down there, babe. It's $40,000 a year.
A year. Sorry.
Okay.
Per year.
Now that makes sense.
So you would have 40, 80, 120, 160. Not including,
Why would you want to go on a cruise
Not-
his whole
Can't.
presidency?
not including
possibly
the
be.
excursions.
This
Yeah.
can't possibly be
But
the exact.
That is including... That is
Go
including...
ahead, look it up.
Look
Look it up, bitch. Go ahead.
They're gonna spend his whole presidency on the ship. They're not even gonna get to experience it. They're gonna be
Exactly.
off the country.
That's the whole
Yeah.
point. That's the
they're
entire point.
escaping?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
well,
the
that's some
entire
rich
point.
people shit. Like, thanks a lot, buddy. They're like, yeah, let the world burn.
It's
let,
for
let
those
our country
people that
burn
would
while you
rather
get
just
to
sell
ride
their
around on the
house.
ship. You fucking
They would
assholes.
just sell their house for like $300,000 and go spend the next 4 years off the coast of Costa Rica somewhere.
So here's the thing:
Fuck them.
is that
This isn't like real though. We came up with this marketing campaign before we even knew who would win. Regardless of who would win, you would have half of the population upset. CEO Michael Patterson told Newsweek. Quite frankly, we don't have a political view one way or the other. We just wanted to give people who feel threatened to have a way to get out. This is just a marketing campaign from a fucking dumbass billionaire. Fuck.
But what do you mean? They can do it though.
200
4
days.
years. 274. You would visit all 7 continents, and yeah,
I'd do
it's
that.
it's 54,000 per person.
Okay.
That's just for the interior stateroom.
Okay.
If you want a balcony stateroom, 75,000.
Okay.
Per
You want a
person.
junior suite, 105,000.
Okay. That's for people that would definitely just
Hey.
be like, let's sell everything we own
Hey.
and fuck off for a little while.
Millions.
75?
Yeah.
75? We could do that.
75,000
75 per person? Yeah, per person. So
Okay, well,
150
let me make millions.
So
first.
150K per person.
Yeah.
Or
No,
for 2 people.
Yeah, for 2.
Do
Yeah.
kids go free?
I doubt it.
Most places kids are allowed to sail for free.
I mean, maybe.
Are you kidding me? I'm
For,
not taking the fucking kids with me.
This
Fuck
Trump
that shit.
avoidance skip forward cruise, single occupancy cabins for the full 4 years start at $256,000.
Yeah. So if you break 256
For the full 4 years.
down to 4 years,
Alcohol is only included at dinner.
Only at dinner.
well, you best believe I'm gonna sit at dinner for a couple hours.
274 days. Dude,
That's a wild cruise.
that's so long.
I'd do that.
But it's, it's Royal Caribbean, so.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
probably
Oh,
really
if
nice.
it's Royal Caribbean, then yes, kids sail for free.
Yeah. If they're under a certain age, they sell for free.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They're under 18.
Well, that might be depending on the cruise.
I guess, but
Like if we're just like our 3-day cruise, that might be the case.
You go
but
to
if you're
7
doing a 274-day cruise, it might be different.
But if you're only going to 7 continents is in 7 ports, or
What do you mean 7
he
continents?
said you would travel to 7 different continents.
Yeah.
So 7 ports, or on each continent are you going to several different ports?
That's a good question.
Probably several different ports.
Yeah.
But then you could spend
continent.
like
274 days, yeah.
But then
It's
you could
long
spend
enough.
1 or 2 days exploring Europe. You could spend 1 or 2
Yeah.
days exploring Asia.
Like you're expected to, when they get to a port, you're expected to like rent a car and investigate.
Well, if
what they're
you're
playing.
going around Europe, you don't need a car. They got the trans system, and they have and you could pretty much get anywhere by either boat or walking.
Depending on where you are in Europe.
Oh, dude, fucking to get from London to Germany is like a 4-hour train ride.
This is the.
Any shit.
Oh my god. This Trump cruise. The more I read about it,
It makes you laugh, doesn't it?
no,
Don't you love it?
it's a.
You know
Okay.
you love it. You want to do it, right? You do. I know. Look at him. I know. Look, he's like,
You
I'm
and
so.
Crystal want to sell the house.
He's like,
and
I'm
go
so
live in a boat."
excited to do this cruise.
They're trying to make back money from when they got stranded for 4 months in Belfast. This company is like underwater financially. That's why they're doing this.
Royal Caribbean?
No,
no,
I
that's
was talking about the,
No, the
the Trump
company that's
avoidance
doing it.
cruise.
Yeah, that's not Royal Caribbean though.
This fucking guy. See, this is why when I smelled bullshit on that from a mile, and then I looked it up, and I'm like, why did I look it up? I fucking hate myself.
I love you, little
I kind of like making Wes feel this way. Like sometimes it's kind of fun, just because
Stand
I know
getting
like I make him a little tense, you know.
I'm rubbing his beans. I'm rubbing his beans with my thumb, and he's just licking me.
You just tickle the
I love your
fucking
beans. You have very soft beans.
the buttons in my brain that make me go, that's not real.
He's way softer
does
than
have a
OTEP.
way
I have to
softer
look it up.
tongue.
He's way softer than OTEP.
Oh, it is way
And
so.
then I get frustrated at how much everything is just everything's so complicated that nobody actually knows anything.
It's too much bureaucracy, man.
Yeah.
Listen to him. He sounds like a speedboat.
Let's just go to like somewhere in South America and like get like a compound and maybe like
I heard
settle-
houses
okay.
in Japan are super cheap right
like
now.
we'll maybe get like
They're
900
giving
people.
houses away in.
This like obscure place in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get like
Paris has over 1 million empty houses.
We'll get like 900 people all together and then we'll like create a cult.
900.
We'll like 700.
In Italy, they're
900,
paying
yeah.
people.
700?
I don't know what number you were
Maybe
going
it was
for.
maybe like 500.
It wasn't Italy, it was
But we'll have them
France.
drink the
France,
Kool-Aid.
yeah.
France, they're selling houses for $1. In Italy, what they're doing is they are paying you to move into a house.
Yeah.
I just want to drink the Kool-Aid.
You just want to drink the Kool-Aid? It was
With,
Flavor
like,
Aid.
It's
What is
Flavor Aid.
See,
Sorry, Flavor Aid.
and that's my whole fucking issue with everything is that like everybody just
misinformation.
repeats the fucking thing and then it's actually not
It was
that.
Flavor Aid.
Everybody believes.
What was
it.
the amount
All
of
this
people though?
bullshit.
Can somebody explain
It
to
Are
me?
you
was, it was
kidding
about
me?
900 people.
Yeah,
Listen,
okay,
Are
so
you
I was
kidding
right
me?
in my first
Kool-Aid?
thing.
No,
Yeah,
I wasn't
so
questioning 900.
I
I
want,
was
so
just
the Flavor Aid of 900 people
I was just saying you want us to find 900 people.
that want to drink the Flavor Aid. Yes.
he could find 900 easily.
You could.
Yeah.
I'll be in the background doing the numbers.
No,
All
that
you,
sounds like
buddy.
too much work. Because I'm the only fucking extrovert
You're
here.
the
God
only
damn it.
super social one out of all of us, dude.
God damn it, dude.
You're
and
like,
then
you know what sounds like fun? Talking to strangers.
I
And then
would-
the three of us are just like,
I would
Oh.
100% have to
Are
be
you
the.
insane?
I would have to be the leader, and then I would have to like run everything, and then by the end of it, I would have to go absolutely fucking insane.
You are a banana.
like
cult
Jim
leader.
Jones.
Yeah.
Like Jim
Who?
Jones.
Yeah,
Jim Jones went
909
insane.
members.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were spot on for that.
Jim Jones?
I don't know who that is. I don't.
Okay.
I don't care
Anyway.
You're
about
obviously
who that
fucking
guy is.
around.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
obvious.
surprised that she didn't catch on to like.
No, I thought you were giving me that tone of voice where you thought I got the name wrong,
No,
but I didn't.
No. Because I said 900 people.
I was expecting you to say, you mean James
909.
Jones?
No, you had it right. No, 100%.
I don't
And then
know,
I was
Waco
going to
pretty
come
cool.
back with, you mean you're wrong? Very wrong? It's Jim Jones?
He's one of the craziest mass murders.
I
in
was
history.
hoping that you were
Yeah.
catching on
Because
to
usually
me
you need a big,
saying
either
exactly
a religion
what Jim
already
Jones
known
did,
or a
and
nation
I
that's
wanted
well
to do
established
exactly
to be
that.
a leader of a nation.
No, I
that's
caught
all
on to that.
existed. This guy was just a guy.
You gave me,
Yeah.
again, a
And he
tone of
got
voice where you were going to say I was
909
wrong.
people killed all
Oh,
at
no.
once.
Sorry,
And
I was
then-
trying to keep it going, being
No.
like, no, I have no
He made
idea
a
who
lot
that
of them
guy
do it,
is.
like they were forced to.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't do that.
There was some that wanted
I didn't
to,
give
but
enough
by the time that
sarcasm
it got
to
to that
the-
point, a lot of them were like,
No,
this
you
is
just
so
do
fucked
that
up, I just want out
I'm
of here.
sorry.
They were just at gunpoint.
I should have
Yeah.
been like,
You do that sometimes where you are very
The
confidently
agent that
wrong.
knew the whole
I
And then you
should've
tell
been
me
like-
that I'm wrong, and I'm
that guy
like,
needed
no,
to be
you're
took
wrong.
down,
You're right.
And nobody like gave him.
I should have been
and
like,
then he finally had the
no,
resources,
I
and then he gets
have
shot.
no
and
idea who
dies.
Jim Jones is.
It's so tragic.
My bad.
So
My bad.
fucked up.
No, I was saying like Jim Jones lost his fucking mind.
It is 11:30, by the way.
That's
Yeah.
what I said.
The
though.
compound,
That's
the
what
idea
that's
of
literally
his,
what I said is that he lost
awesome.
he like lost his mind by the end of it. That's what I said.
the idea of his compound was great. They lived on that compound for a while and it worked out. They were very self-sustainable. They were a loving people. But then he lost his fucking mind.
He started blasting his voice over the loudspeakers 24/7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real talk, if you want to really get into it, listen to last podcast on the left
Yeah, podcast
because
on the left.
shit was not okay
Lapano.
for a long time. It was not that he eventually lost his mind. Shit
Oh, no, it
was
just
not
slowly got
okay.
Worse and worse and worse and worse.
No. Shit was not okay the entire time. It seemed okay because they followed him and they did whatever he said.
I was also under the impression that he had like 13 children. He only had like 7.
Only 7.
It seemed
Only
okay for them because
Garrett has 4.
they did what he said. But shit, if you look at it from an outside standpoint,
Oh, well, yeah.
nothing was okay the entire fucking
It was Stockholm
time.
Syndrome. That's all it was.
He lost his mind more and more and more over the time, but even when he was still like somewhat in his mind and they moved down to South America, everything that happened from that point until they drank the Flavorade was fucked up. Yeah.
It was Stockholm Syndrome. It was
He
just
was
a
having
widespread of
sex-
Stockholm Syndrome.
He was having sex with
Everybody.
like
Everybody. And they considered it like an honor
God, cults are
because
so
he was God.
fucking-
yeah,
to
with
them.
women that were married and everything else. and
Everyone.
yeah, it was there was no point of that was okay and then he slowly lost his mind. No. Everything was fucked up from the get-go. It was
I like the idea of a compound.
it was somewhat decent. And I will
You should
put a
watch the movie
huge-
Red State.
I will put a huge like quotations on somewhat decent before they moved down to South America. But once Jim Jones moved down to South America, everything he was like, I can just do whatever. Red State?
Yeah,
Red
you
State.
tell them.
You should watch the movie Red State. You'd like it.
Why?
It's basically like it's not Jim Jones, but it's a cult very similar to Jim Jones, and these like 3 horny teenagers are going for like a exotic stay at this place, and it turns out to be like a crazy fucking preacher cult leader type guy. And the series of events play out similar to Jim Jones with like some Waco mixed in there.
Oh, okay.
It's my wife. Hello.
This has been Blue Skies from the Basement podcast. Good night.